This is Ag Matters PM from the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network, brought to you by the Iowa Soybean Association, your source for the latest Iowa ag news headlines right here in the heart of the heartland. With reports from our award-winning team of Dustin Hoffman, Riley Smith, Mark Magnuson, and Andy Peterson. Now, from the IARN studios in Des Moines, here's Dustin.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Ag Matters PM from the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network. I'm Dustin Huffman. Today is Thursday, the 18th of September, 2025. So glad you could join us here today. Coming up a little later on in the program, we'll get the closing numbers from the folks at agmarket.net. But first, we're going to talk with Iowa Ag Secretary Mike Naig. He was recently on a trade trip with Governor Kim Reynolds and others to India, and here's what he had to say. We just came back from India, another trade trip over there, second one in kind of a short amount of time. All things considered. Talk about what happened over there.
Yeah, it basically works out that we have been twice within a year and led a trade delegation along with Governor Reynolds and a great group of Iowans who went, and it was notable. I mean, the folks we were meeting with, when we would say that, like, well, we were just here last year, they'd say, oh, you know, and so it sent the right signal, we believe, that we're serious about India and what Iowa can do and making sure that we're showing respect for the market, right? You go and you learn and you ask questions and you meet folks, and it's pretty amazing. We've really established some pretty good relationships just in the course of a year, and there's been a fair amount of traffic between India and Iowa in that last year. We had a delegation in during the state fair. We actually will welcome another delegation of feed buyers in here just in a week or so, and so there's a lot of traffic, but. Well, it continues to be true, and we just learned it, reiterated that, learned it again, the idea that India, just a huge market opportunity. Complex market, huge country in terms of population, a large agriculture as well, but they have a productivity gap, and meaning that as their economy grows, as their middle class grows, as their incomes grow, it is true every single place in the world where that has happened, where incomes have risen and the middle class expands, there's an increased demand for protein. There's an increased demand for diversity on the plate. And that is something that we see as an opportunity. I think protein, the whole protein question, will drive what happens next with the food and ag trade and policy with India. So some near-term wins. We think we'll continue to sell a lot of ethanol to India. We think DDGs could very well find their way into India with a trade agreement, perhaps some soybean meal. And then ag technology, lots of opportunities around ag tech, frankly, going both ways, from India or from the United States. And we really do think that that's an opportunity. And in the longer run, then this whole protein conversation will have to take shape. But a huge market, to be sure, a great trip.
And of course, Iowa also, kind of had a little bit of a breakthrough with one of the states over there as well, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Well, this is really special. Governor Reynolds really led the charge on wanting to create a partner state relationship, a sister state, perhaps is what we called it in the past, partner state today. And it's with Maharashtra, which is one of the the city of Mumbai, which is really their economic hub, their financial hub. The second largest state in India by population. You're talking 130 plus million people, and really an economic engine within the country, and an ag state as well, both in terms of imports and exports and production. And so for us, we're state of Iowa is their first U.S. partner state, and I think that was remarkable. Met with the chief minister, signed the agreement, all that, and I think there's a tremendous opportunity at the subnational level, right? We got a lot of things happening between the U.S. and India. What can we be doing, Iowa to Maharashtra, in terms of linking everything from university to business to agriculture? We see a lot of potential here, and frankly, we came home with several action items that I know will be taken on here just in the coming weeks and months, and I'm really excited about what this relationship can turn into.
Well, and it's kind of a big deal too, because historically India has been kind of hard to break through with in any way, shape, or form sometimes.
Very much so. You would call them kind of the height of protectionist, and it's got some logic to it, right? A significant percent of their population, let's just say something like maybe 700 million people are in the rural part of India, and the vast majority of them are dependent on agriculture for their livelihood. And so the government pays close attention to policies that how the farm community, how rural communities in India will react. And so that's why they've been really reluctant around trade. But here's the challenge, right? I think they can do both. They can both increase their productivity and profitability for their farmers and work with importers and work with bringing technology in and bringing innovation in. And they can start to address that gap, that food and ag security challenge that they have, that nutrition challenge that they have. I think they can grow both their domestic production and work with people like us, and it can be a good thing for all of the above. So they really have a challenge, though, in trying to reconcile all that, and historically, famously protectionist. So for us to have an agreement like this, it's a big deal. It's certainly more than a crack in the door. We think this is really an opportunity to really, really do something special together.
That again was Iowa Ag Secretary Mike Naig. We're going to take a short break and hear from our sponsor, the Iowa Soybean Association and the Soy Checkoff. When we come back, we will look at the closing numbers. This is Ag Matters PM.
Iowa Soybean Association is driven to deliver for Iowa's 40,000 soybean farmers. We're proud to provide objective agronomic research, a helping hand with soil and water stewardship, and timely industry news powered by the Soybean Checkoff. Learn more at iasoybeans.com.
It's time now for the Ag Matters PM Closing Market Summary, your source for market analysis and settlement prices from the day's trade in Chicago, courtesy of the folks at agmarket.net. We're back on Ag Matters PM, and it's time to talk with Jason Meyer of agmarket.net here at the close. And Jason, what did we see come out of those grain markets today?
The grain markets were just under a little bit of pressure. It came out today that the EPA announced that they're going to wait on the small refinery exemptions. They're going to push that decision back to November. Everybody was kind of hoping they're going to make that decision and now. So that in turn put a little bit of pressure on soybean oil, and that kind of took the soybeans down, and the corn kind of followed suit. Then you could also argue you got a little bit of harvest pressure. So just kind of a down day in the market here.
So we know in Iowa, combines are just starting to hit a couple acres here and there, kind of opening up, testing the water. But what the market's been seeing for harvest progress or harvest numbers so far in other parts of the country, has it been holding up to what they expected? Has it been disappointing? I mean, what are we hearing?
We're kind of hearing stuff all over the board. Here in Iowa, it seems like the early stuff is maybe a little bit better, especially on the soybeans. But across the country, you're hearing that southern rust was definitely a real menace in the growing season this year, and is taking some of that top end yield off. But we just don't have a big enough start on harvest to get a clear cut answer on yields. They're still all over the board here.
Okay, moving over to the livestock side of things, cattle and hogs. I know cattle has been under pressure the last couple of days, even week or so. Did that continue? I mean, what came out of that livestock prices today?
Yeah, the cattle market started the day a little bit lower. Obviously, yesterday we saw cash cattle traded a little bit lower. Box beef prices are a little bit lower. We had some reports that chicken prices were coming down, but the cattle market was able to find a bid and actually closed the day up nice and strong. And now they closed right at important level of resistance. So like the 9-day exponential moving average used to be support on the way up. Now as the market's kind of turned around here, that's providing some pretty big resistance to the upside. And then the hog market was pretty quiet here. Not much going on there today. We're pulling back after our nice little rally that we've had, but the hog market was pretty quiet today overall.
All right. Well, folks want to look at more of what agmarket.net is looking at, some of the intelligence you guys are putting out. What is the best place for them to get started?
Go to our internet website, agmarket.net, and click on a free trial to access our information. And myself or one of my teammates would be happy to speak with you.
All right. Well, Jason Meyer's been our guest here today. Jason, thanks so much, and we will talk to you again soon.
Thanks, Dustin. Everybody have a good day now.
That's been a check of our closing market analysis with the folks at agmarket.net. Let's take a look at the closing numbers on the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network market screen. At the close, December corn down 3 at 423 3/4. Soybeans for November down 6 1/4 at 1037 1/2. Soy meal down 90 cents at 283 even. Soy oil down 67 cents at 50.57. Chicago wheat down 4 cents at 524 1/4. Kansas winter wheat down 6 1/4 at 510 even. Kansas spring wheat up 1 1/4 at 538 even. Minneapolis spring wheat down 2 1/4 at 517 3/4. Oats up a half at 321 1/2. On the Merc, live cattle up $1.27 at 232.37. Feeders up $2.60 at 351.72. Lean hogs up 15 cents at 97.47. Pork cutouts unchanged at 103.90. Class 3 milk 14 cents. And that is the end of our market recap, and that brings us to the end of today's show. You can find all our content online at iowaagnet.com, as well as follow us on Facebook, X, and on our YouTube channel. Don't forget about the free market podcast coming to your device 3 times a day, free of charge, with analysis of the openings, middays, and closings each trading day. You can also check out all of our content again at the podcast tab at iowaagnet.com. That is Iowa Ag Matters, Weekend Ag Matters, and much more. From the IARN studios in Des Moines, I'm Dustin Huffman. For Riley Smith, Andy Peterson, and Mark Magnuson, we thank you for watching. This is Ag Matters PM.